Hey everybody, Dirty Dan here, and today we're working on Matt's Chevy truck. We're going to be doing a cool upgrade to the front brake system, including the spindles. We're going to be converting it to a more modern setup. Let's begin. This truck is already equipped with drop spindles and springs, and we're going to be swapping out the spindle and the brakes. We're getting rid of this rotor setup, which is a rotor and hub assembly with inner and outer bearings, all as one unit, and your old style single piston caliper. We're going to be upgrading all of this to this. So here's our upgrade kit from CPP. We've got a hub and an updated spindle to accept that hub. This is more like what you would find on a modern vehicle. We've also got a drilled and slotted rotor and a dual piston caliper. Now, as far as your wheel spacing, that's going to remain the same. The distance here where your wheel mounting surface is the same distance. That's not going to change, but your wheels are going to have to change. You're no longer going to be able to fit a 15-inch wheel around this new rotor and caliper assembly. So keep that in mind. You'll either have to space it way out like they did on those little mini trucks in the 90s, or you're going to have to get a different wheel. I would suggest a different wheel. We're going to get this party started by removing the caliper bolt pins, 3/8 Allen wrench, take our pry bar, compress the caliper, pull it off, disconnect the hose. We're going to go ahead and take the nuts off for the ball joints and get these separated. Usually a couple taps with a hammer like this does the trick, but not always. You may need to go get a pickle fork and get it broke loose. That's fine. These were installed recently, so they came off pretty easy. No issues there. Get the new spindle set in place. There is a left and right. You'll know if you did it wrong because it won't work. Then we're going to go ahead and get the hub lined up, get these bolts in and torqued to spec, and install the bracket for the caliper. Now that drilled and slotted rotor. I like to take one lug nut and put it on there to hold it in place so the rotor doesn't flop, and get the caliper bolted on. And then we'll move on to getting the hose secured with the provided bolt and washers and hose. Don't forget, there's 2 bleeders on this caliper. Bleed from the top one, not the bottom. Now, overall, this was a great kit. Everything installed pretty easily. The spindles, the brakes, everything fit lovely. And we now have a really nice, fancy brake setup because race car. The only thing with this kit that I don't think was excellent was the brake hose. While it is a good quality brake hose, I do wish it was a little bit longer. We are actually going to extend the metal line where it comes out of the frame and make a different mount for it to give us a little more slack in the line, because when you turn completely towards the right, if you're on the driver's side, it does make the hose kind of snug, and I don't like any kind of tension on that. But aside from that, great kit. If you have any questions, feel free to drop a comment below. I'll provide a link to this kit in the description. And until next time, happy hot rodding.